program, one of Manipur's best known human rights activists, peace activists. I welcome to the program Bablu Loitungbam. Welcome very much, Bablu, to this program. Let me start by asking you whether you think there's any improvement at all in the ground situation. We were, of course, there some days ago, but since then, do you believe things are quietening down, or do you believe tensions are still very high?
Well, Barkha, I think the level of violence has come down slightly. However, just a few days ago, yesterday, there was the burning of several houses in Chekon area, where there's a mixed population of Kuki and Meitei. Both the Kuki houses and Meitei houses are being burned down. Today, there was also very strong rumor that came out saying that at least 20 school children were kidnapped. But the social media is still amok, and things are not very certain whether this was a fake one or a real one. But there were tensions in the periphery of the Malom area. There was active chasing going on. People were running around trying to find out whether actually there was a van with children kidnapped or not.
Do we have any clarity on this? Because I just want to be very careful with this, because if 20 children are missing, it would cause a lot of tension. And if it's fake news, then we don't want to be further propagating it.
Absolutely. No, I would like to clarify that the police have just came out with a statement that this is not true.
Thank God.
Even though
Thank God for that. Yeah.
Even though there was a case of two girls being taken in a van, this kidnapping story is not true, and they have kind of jumped out of the van and they are in the police custody, they are told. But this is not a communal thing where the Kukis are kidnapping Meitei.
I just want to underline that for anybody watching this, the police have rebutted social media rumors that 20 children were taken hostage in any way. And Bablu is telling us that these are the kind of things that happen in a high tension situation. Rumors spread like wildfire, and so it's very important for us to underline and doubly underline that the police have said that this rumor is not true, and it has nothing to do with the clash between Kukis and Meiteis. Bablu, let me talk about the assembly session that has actually been called for the 29th of August, that is tomorrow. What are your own views of holding an assembly session in such a situation? One view could be that people need to talk amongst themselves. The assembly is a place where Kuki and Meiteis can actually start a dialogue, as should happen within an elected institutional structure. The other view is, as the Kuki groups are arguing, how do we come to Imphal? We don't feel safe in the valley. How do you see it?
Well, I think there are two criticisms that is coming on this particular assembly session. One is the one that you have just mentioned, the Kuki MLA saying that they don't feel secure enough to come to Imphal for having the session. The other criticism that's coming from the Congress party, which is the only opposition party now, is that this is too short, because one day, most of the time will be taken for other formalities like giving obituary to people, the MLAs who have expired, and there will be only very few hours left for actual substantive discussion on the issue. So I think the Kuki MLA's question can perhaps be taken care of. I mean, there are enough troops on the ground. I think it is more a lack of political will to participate in a process when so much violence has happened and no healing process whatsoever has begun. I think the security...
Do you personally agree with the assembly? Okay, let me put it to you like this: can the assembly be the beginning of a healing process, or
Absolutely.
do you believe some healing process needs to come before the assembly session?
Well, I think it's not either or. I think it is both are possible. Depend on how we manage and the detailing of it is what is important. You can always make the Kuki MLA feel secure enough to come and have a dialogue. I mean, we have enough helicopter in place. We have more than enough boots on the ground. 60,000 plus security forces have come into Manipur now. So that should not be a primary constraint.
So you would welcome the convening of the assembly, Bablu?
I would think that institutions need to stand up to these communal clashes, And I think this can definitely be a platform where people can deliberate upon and dissect in a proper way. I think enough time should be given, and proper
But
security
suppose
arrangement should be done.
suppose the assembly does meet and the Kuki legislators do not come to it. It would be no point.
Well, it would definitely be a kind of a signal, a very clear signal that the cookies are now, in fact, wanting a separate process and not cooperating with the Manipur government institutions. Uh, but on the other hand, this can also be used. I mean, I think why the opposition are saying that there is not enough time is also, I think this is a time when we can fix responsibility and discuss where things went so wrong, and rather than just speaking in the media, perhaps that can be one area where this can be dissected. Unfortunately, the parliament option is gone already, and perhaps the only option left is in the Supreme Court, which is going on, but there are obviously very severe limitations on what Supreme Court can do in these kind of political questions. And I would think that this democratic institution needs to be used to the optimum to seek a solution. And how they package it and what is the negotiation that is going on with the Kuki MLA is, of course, very, very critical. And if they can be persuaded to come and put their grievances on record in the assembly, I think nothing like it. Then we are restoring some democratic institutions in the state.
So, Bablu, of course, I very much hope that things have improved since I was there a couple of weeks ago. But when I was there, one of the things that the Kuki groups raised again and again was the inability to take the bodies of those they had lost to violence, to rape, to pillage, and of course both communities suffered enormously. To bring those bodies back home because they were lying in hospital morgues in Imphal. The mass burial also that was being planned by Kuki groups has, to the best of my knowledge, still not taken place. Now, my question to you is: if families can't come and take their dead home, the MLAs that are Kuki might argue that if people can't take their dead home and bid a last farewell to them, how can they participate? How can they go up and down on that highway? You're saying it's possible because air charters do exist.
I think, of course, helicopters. I mean,
Yes,
Rahul Gandhi took a helicopter to go to Churachandpur. Why can't
yes.
and constantly the chief minister and his cabinet colleagues are going to Delhi on chartered flights. There are more than enough helicopters which can land in the assembly session is big enough for helicopters to have make a makeshift helipad there, and it is not impossible. I think the question, I think the logistic of it can be worked out very easily. What is more difficult is the political question. Is there a space to dialogue, or is the wall so entrenched that any face-to-face dialogue is not possible? Logistics, I think, is a simpler question.